Hello, Internet. Welcome back to the Fast Travel Lounge. You're listening to episode 74. My name is Patrick. I'm joined by Saif, say hi.
Hello.
And Steve, say hi.
Hey.
What was that? You could have said hi, you said hey, but it was also like a really quiet, I don't really want to be here right now.
Oh, did you want me to say hi? I was saying what horses eat.
You know what? Fair. No, actually,
Yay!
now that I think about it.
Welcome back to the Fast Horses Lounge. Fast travel, Fast lounge stable. Fast travel stable. I don't know, there's something in there.
Steve, I'm gonna let you in on a secret. I think people can travel fastly by horse. Call me crazy.
Hang on, what about, do horses want to travel fast?
Do you think they ride other horses? And they're like, man, this is so much faster.
They ride a car. They make little horse carriages for cars.
I think we make them do that, actually, Seth. That's rather belittling for you to talk about. It's quite a hard horse subject. It comes up in what we call it, like woke liberal horse curriculum at high schools and universities.
You know what? I hope Konami wins that lawsuit now. Those horse girls are getting away with too much.
I've been saying that for years.
Girls.
Don't look that up. Don't look that up. Whatever you do, don't Google horse girl rule 34. Don't do it.
Could be. That's the only thing I don't know. Remember the Saddle Club? You guys watch that?
No.
Did you?
Oh, no. Yeah. Okay. That's not a manly show at all. I was busy watching manly shows like.
While you were watching the Saddle Club, I was watching G.I. Joe: The Rise of Cobra.
I've seen that movie. That's a fucking terrible movie.
I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying it's better than the Saddle Club.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd rather sit in the dark for 2 hours. But anyway, we digress.
Winx Totally Spies anyone?
Oh, hang on, let him cook and Totally Spies.
You mean the show that every episode is the writers loosely based at fetish, loosely disguised fetish? I mean,
I thought it was a homage to a great film called Charlie's Angels. I don't know where you're getting the fetish talk from, Seth.
She's 15, Seth. You're going to jail.
The writers aren't 15. At least I don't think they are.
Would you be upset if they were? Would you be like, oh, you know what? Fair play. Please continue.
You know what? If they got those professional gigs at 15, I'd be really impressed.
Well, Seth, you know what you must do. Oh,
I'm not Googling this.
I'm gonna drop that spade where it is.
Also, to go back to it, Stephen, I didn't watch Saddle Club, but I did watch McLeod's Daughters.
That's even worse. That's live action. That's actually, no, Saddle Club was live action as well. You know what? I don't know what's going on. But yeah, McLeod's Daughters would have been fucking terrible because it's like an adult drama show.
Yeah, it's a TV drama.
Yeah, whereas Saddle Club was at least like a kid.
It was a children's drama.
Yeah, horse stuff. Yeah.
So, I know I was late to the party, but do we have an audience question for this week?
Hold on, let me check the emails. I knew I forgot to do something today.
It seems like we do. I don't know that we've talked through this one.
It was me. I did it.
Well, okay. You don't have to talk about how the sausage is made.
Are we still recording? Will this be edited out in post?
No. No, that's cool. We will get to that all in due time. And of course, this is after the absolute state of play 2023.
Yeah, it was funny the first time we said it.
And the second. And maybe
actually, it's
the
not
third.
a state.
We'll see.
It's not a state of play. It's a showcase. I can't believe it was an hour of just them showing off Jim Ryan's bookcase.
Yeah.
It really was a showcase.
It was showing Jim Ryan casing everybody's wallets.
Especially Seth's.
Especially Seth's. But
You'd be surprised how much I'm actually not interested in this one.
You know what?
He says,
I would be surprised. Yeah.
You know what? You're going to have to wait and see to find out this one. We'll talk about that very last.
We'll wait so late. It'll be the next episode before you hear about that one. But in the interim, outside of the absolute state of the Sony showcase, it doesn't roll off the tongue as much. I'm probably just going to keep calling it the state of play. Steve, what have you been up to this week?
Playing a bit of Tears of Kingdom. Yeah, just been busy with like doing social stuff. Like, got to fill up that social battery so I can justify myself staying in for playing video games for half the winter. But
okay, hot take. I think you're wrong.
All right, explain yourself, young man.
You know what? That's an exercise left to the reader. The audience knows. We know. The only question is, why don't you?
I don't know what's going on. Yeah, in Australia.
Yeah, okay, so continuing Tears of the Kingdom, that's cool. Anything else?
Nothing worth mentioning. Still chugging along at trying to 100% Vampire Survivors. Is it Vampire Survivors or Vampire Survives?
Survivors.
They survive the vampires.
Okay.
Which is interesting because there really aren't that many vampires when you think about it.
In fact, I don't think there's a single vampire in that game.
There's like bad things. They're close enough. But yeah, anyway, yeah. So I'm trying 100% that. It's pretty fun. I'm getting stuck on that, getting to level 80 on that Galileo tower, but I'm sure I'll eventually get there. Might have to turn off hyper mode or something. But yeah, Tears of the Kingdom still amazing. We'll talk about. I've done a couple of things in that, and just in the pre-game interview, Saif has done a couple of things. So that's not. We might have a discussion on that.
I'm sure we will. Saif, surprising absolutely no one. What have you been up to this week?
Yeah, so I was also playing Tears of the Kingdom, surprising no one because Steven just said it.
That's crazy. Tell me more.
I was hoping not to turn it into a discussion and just have it a quick get in and get out of that game, but if Steven wants to talk, I guess we'll talk.
Oh, maybe we won't talk then. Fuck yeah.
Uh-oh, trouble in paradise.
And I also watched a Mario movie, making this the third week that we're going to have a slight Mario movie discussion on this podcast.
Uh-oh, trouble in paradise.
I will also try to keep that one short because it's the Mario movie. There's not a lot to talk about there.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly how I opened my discussion, but hey, no, we'll see. We'll see. That's cool. What have I been up to this week? Oh, not a whole lot. I recently found out that a friend of mine is playing through bits of Borderlands 2 again, so I have downloaded and started playing little bits of Borderlands 2, thinking maybe this will finally be the time I get the 100% achievements. It'll be a little bit of a slog, but worthwhile, especially if there's someone else to validate my absolute vehement addiction to this game.
I mean, if it's your favorite game of all time, can it really be a slog?
It is definitely one of, I know that the joke is to say one of the games of all time. This definitely is one of my favorite games of all time.
It is a very good game.
It is. The funny part, I wrote a Steam review at 200 hours in, and I now have, I think, over 800 hours, actually. I said funny. Maybe change that to sad. I'm not sure.
Post your Steam review. What? Post your Steam review. What is it?
I'm not going to out myself.
Yeah.
You got to go and update it. It's been 600 hours since that review. So much has changed.
It's true. The game really gets good at like the 400 hour mark. That's when it really starts sinking in what you're up to.
Unironically, some games are like that though.
Not at the 400 hour mark. Okay. Other than Dota, not at the 400 hour mark they aren't.
I don't think Dota ever gets good. People just get Stockholm Syndrome with that game. Same with League of Legends. How much is 400 hours in like days? And you should cut this out. It's 16.6 days.
Feel free to look it up.
I am looking it up. It's 16 days, which just means 800 hours is about 32 days. 33.3 repeated days. Wow, could have learned a skill in that amount of time.
Well, you know what they say. 1,000 hours to master something. Or
no, you didn't master it.
10,000? 10,000 hours to master?
10,000,
whatever the saying is. Anyway, other than a little bit of Borderlands 2, a little bit of Vampire Survivors, which I've also been trying to get to 100% on. Not stuck at your fucking weak ass, can't be bothered finishing the game point. I'm much closer.
Yeah, but have you finished it yet though?
I'm sure. No.
So the race is on.
Ooh, now we're cooking.
Now
we're cooking.
Now we're racing actually.
Now we're surviving vampires. Am I right, fellas?
Steven, don't do this. Last time Patrick got into a race, he was almost setting world records on the first level of the game.
That's so true, actually.
Yeah, but almost doesn't
Please help me.
Yeah, almost doesn't set you world records, does it? You've got to actually do it.
I think I don't think I've talked about the Illenium album, which came out like a month or so ago.
Hang on, is this an album of the week?
It might be, Steve. It might be.
Oh, hang on, let him listen.
Let him listen. See, that's what everyone's doing to me right now. You're actually ruining this.
Oh.
It's okay. I forgive you. But yeah, so that'll be around the lunch for this week. I guess in the true spirit of Album of the Week, why don't I just get this out of the way now? Illenium released a self-titled album. It's the fourth album. Wait, do I have that right? I'm pretty sure it's the fourth album.
Hang on. Illenium, like the American DJ?
Yes.
I'm assuming so, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, okay, no, sorry. Because I typed in Artlenium and then...
Oh, no,
like
ill. Like these beats are ill.
He's the illest.
He is. He really is.
Jeez,
he's released a lot of singles. I'm scrolling through the discography. Holy cow. Still going through singles. There we go. Fallen Embers was 2021. Yeah, cool. So this is his fourth album. It's self-titled. So Illenium releasing the Illenium album. Love to see that. Much more rocky than his previous ones. The first one was, I'd almost say, kind of poppy. Had poppy influences. The second one, probably as an album, still my favorite. It had like a nice blend of some pop stuff, some EDM stuff, some rock stuff. It was just like a really nice mix, a really good album. Came out at a really good time for me. Third album, much more leaning into the EDM, but still had some highlights, but it was a little bit samey for me. Well, wasn't as big a fan of that one. But this fourth album, particularly harkening back to the kind of glory days of the sort of punky, rocky type era, which I really enjoyed, particularly because you get a nice genre crossover. We have collaborations with groups like Motionless in White, All Time Low, Said the Sky, obviously, because that's basically every album there's a Said the Sky collab. Also, Avril Lavigne, that was a bit of a surprise, but I like most of the album's fine. I wouldn't say the Avril Lavigne song's my favorite, but I want to especially shout out Drown, which for people in the know is a Bring Me the Horizon song, but was remixed by Illenium and released as Drown, but without the O, so just DRWN. It's really, Journ. Yeah, exactly. It's really interesting that of the album, it is the least played song on the album, according to Spotify, but I think it is one of the best.
Cool.
But yeah, go give that a listen. It has definitely been cycling through my ears for the past couple of weeks since its release. I don't really know why I haven't brought it up, actually. There's been a bit of a flurry of new release music. I think the last one was the Daughter album, which I also listened to a lot, and boy, that's a weird shuffle when you go between pop goes punk type Illenium and melancholy folky indie music that is Daughter. Real swings and roundabouts in terms of music genre. Anyway, that's basically been my week in terms of what I can contribute to Around the Lounge for this week.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Actually,
I'm really glad you think so.
I'll also just...
you want to throw me a bone?
No, not really. This will derail the conversation. And now that you've called out more attention to it, it's going to get worse.
Okay.
Illenium, born in Illinois, does like his ILLs.
do you know what he calls his fans?
What?
Illennials.
He looks like he'd be an Illenial. It's really bottom tier scraping.
True. He was in a rough place. Shoot, 10? When was his first album?
2012.
Maybe.
You're talking about the...
Yeah, okay.
I'm reading his Wikipedia. I'm pretty much an expert on him.
Yeah, true. Yeah, go on.
Oh, no, he had a heroin overdose in 2012.
He did. And he turned his life around.
Yeah, he did. Sung a song about it. 2018, Take You Down.
Yep.
Oh, he's 32 years old. I thought he looks very young.
That's the heroin. That's the secret. That's what doctors don't want you to know.
Oh, hang on. Hang on. Where? Let's
putting down that shovel and needle.
Yeah.
It's really cool that because he talks about it, and I guess another really cool thing, he specifically has drug testing groups at his concerts because he knows the dangers firsthand of what it's like to overdose. So I don't know. It's cool for me to see an artist openly talk about that sort of thing because you often have this kind of implied association with drugs. Like there's like a huge overlap between people in music and people that do drugs. But it's interesting that you have kind of an acknowledgement of the negatives as well as the positives. Anything else from you? Because otherwise I'm good to move on. But
I'm very good to move on. I might actually give this a listen to tomorrow while I'm doing my wage slave stuff.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's not so. Illenium has been super popular with at least a couple of the tracks from each of his albums. I don't think any of the popular songs on this album will be like the popular ones that you might know, but they are all very good in my book. They have a little bit more of the rock tinge to them, which I'm absolutely here for. But why don't we move on from the music realm to the movie realm? Seth, you watched Super Mario movie. It took you long enough.
Yeah.
What was it like?
It was fine. Like,
did you pay for it?
No, I didn't.
Gotcha. You're going to jail.
Oh.
Bang, bang, bang. That's Nintendo.
What are you, Argentina? What are you, Argentina Channel 2 a week after release in cinema?
No, I'm Australia a month after release.
You know what? Even if it's not a month after release, automatically worse.
You can't afford $25 for one movie ticket and $25.
I mean, I can, but it was coming out like a month after it was in cinemas, and I thought, why bother paying the movie fee and the popcorn fee when I have popcorn at home and can just watch it at home in the comfort of my own seat.
Movie at home. You walk into the cinema. Hey, Mum, can I watch Super Mario movie? No, we have Super Mario movie at home, and you're like,
and it's
you know
a
what?
Super Mario Brothers movie from the 90s.
Well, that's way worse. Yeah, no, it's. I think this might be one of the fastest cinema to on-demand transition, segue. I don't know what the right word is.
It definitely feels faster, and considering the success of the movie as well.
Yeah, apparently
Yeah.
Illumination just does it a month after release. They did it with the last Minions movie, so that was where the baseline
Yeah,
of...
but like, who saw that?
Did you not see all the people dressed up in suits going to go see the Rise of Gru? It was a whole thing, man.
No. Okay, let's be clear. People dress up, I'm on board. People go and hold important business meetings in the lobbies of your favorite cinema chains, I'm on board. Very funny. But I refuse to believe that they then actually sat through the Minions movie and then saw it again 1 month after release on demand. Like they didn't like the Gentle Minions craze was in the cinemas for a reason. People didn't just dress up and go to someone's house to watch it on demand.
Yeah, no. I'm saying it was in cinemas, but it also came out a month after it was in cinemas, which is why people were like, oh, so maybe the Mario movie will be a month after cinemas as well, because they did it with Rise of Gru.
And that's what I'm saying, is that we only had a month of hilarious TikTok memes of the Gentle Minions craze. I was absolutely here for it. I wish we got more.
Huh.
So anyway, what did you think of the film?
Oh, yeah.
Crazy segue.
I thought it was fine. Like, it's not fantastic, but it's not bad either. Like, it's a good kids movie.
I'm going to let you in on a secret. If you're going to say the same thing Steve and I said, you have to state it in a slightly different way.
How about no?
All
You know
right.
what? Valid.
What are you
I'll
gonna say
accept
then?
Okay, I don't actually remember if you guys said this. You know, besides Jack Black carrying the movie as we all expected
that.
and knew,
Of course. Yeah.
I was actually really surprised by Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. Did one of you guys touch on that? Because I can't remember.
I don't think so. I did have a discussion with someone a couple weeks ago, maybe last weekend, about how like he doesn't play a Seth Rogen character.
Yeah, no, he's not really a Seth Rogen character, and even his Seth Rogen laugh is subdued a little bit. It's not all the way there like you expect it to be.
Yeah, he doesn't play the dumb fool.
Are you calling
Well,
Seth
hang on.
Rogen a gorilla? I don't know what the implication is here.
No, I don't know how you're drawing that conclusion.
Hang on, let him cook.
I'm afraid of letting him cook.
Stop me from cooking. yeah. No. So I didn't touch on that specifically, but I talked around it a little bit because I noted that it was odd when I heard the lines of Seth Rogen saying, "Is this you flirting with Princess Peach? You know she's never going to date you, right?" And I was like, that's kind of weird to hear in a children's movie in 2023.
It is a little, but I also think it was kind of like it was like a little bit of weird, decent banter, I guess, between them. Like Donkey Kong's just trying to give him shit, so it makes sense for him to kind of go and be that weird third wheel.
Yeah, I get that. I don't know. It's just sort of like, I know that canonically it makes total sense from the source material that is the exchange that would happen, but it's just weird hearing that in a film like sort of geared towards kids. I don't know. It seems like the overall messaging in kids films these days has moved on from a video game that came out in the 80s? Shoot.
Yeah, 80s.
Am I off base? Yeah, there we go. 80s.
I think it was like 85, maybe 86.
Oh, the first one was yeah.
Wait, but hang on, wait, but Super Mario 64, didn't it come out in 1964?
No, that one is 64 because you turn 64 degrees and walk away.
That's such an oddly specific number.
That was a good one. I think 5 more degrees and it'd be funny.
Yeah, true.
No, 5 more degrees and be nice.
Oh, yeah, actually, that's clever.
Even more true. Seth's right. Was it Steve or Video Game Donkey that brought up that Cranky Kong sounded a little odd?
I mean, they sound similar enough. Steve and Donkey, I mean. They have similar opinions.
I don't really think that matters.
I've never seen Steven and Donkey in the same room together.
Oh, hang on.
True.
Anyway, I as someone who has never interacted with the Donkey Kong franchise, generally, the voice of Cranky Kong is a non-issue for me. Because a different Mario voice as well, but I guess very surprised it didn't. Wasn't the guy that does Mario voice the voice of Mario's dad or something?
No, not Mario's dad. He was the guy playing Jumpman or Super Mario. Mario
the guy at the
1
arcade.
in the arcade, yeah, at the pizzeria. Which is a thing I thought was really fun. Was all the Nintendo references that were all over the place, like the pizzeria being called Punch Out Pizza.
Yeah.
There are a few other ones all over the place that it's hard to come to mind right now since they were just small Easter eggs. But in the moment, seeing them, they were a lot of fun.
And when we got to the end of the film, did you also, once Bowser was in the jar, be like, oh, that's crazy, I also have Bowser in a jar?
I actually just jumped back and laughed at the moment I saw them put him into the cum jar.
Same. And I was in cinema.
Yeah, if I was in cinema, I would have been howling.
You know what was crazy? Everyone in the cinema brought out their own jars with the little Bowser amiibo. It was like a really cute moment. It was like a bonding moment with everyone else in cinema.
Everyone was shaking and it was tinking all around the cinema.
Oh man.
But no, actual seriously, it's amazing how much Bowser just steals the show in this movie. He is by far the strongest character, and
yeah, definitely.
Mario. My small nitpick, I guess, is that Mario's voice, like Chris Pratt's voice, is fine. Same for Anya Taylor-Joy as Peach. They're just a little generic. Like Anya Taylor-Joy especially is like just generic heroine action hero voice.
Yeah, that's understandable though.
But it's not like awful or anything. It was just like, this is fine. It's not taking me out of it, but it could be better. But overall, the plot of Mario is being considered a failure from his father and his family, and gets whisked away to the Mushroom Kingdom and has to stand up for himself. That's a fun kid story, and they did it well. And
I can't remember if I said it, but I'm going to say it again. I hate it out. It's a fucking isekai. Everything's an isekai these days.
What do you
Simply
mean?
just-
Should we not be trying to like instruct kids to go get lost in sewers? Maybe
Only
you'll
if they're,
find
like-
Mario.
Well, that's why I keep flushing babies down the toilet.
is it technically an isekai if the Mushroom Kingdom is just another part of the same world? At that point, it's just pipe travel.
Maybe people writing it. We're on the pipe.
Don't you hate it watching your hard tax dollars at work building a Mushroom Kingdom in your sewers?
Don't forget to tip your pipes.
Pipes.
I don't know. Did you enjoy the movie, Seth? I don't think we should spend that much time on it. I talked about it. Pat talked about it.
Yeah, no.
Will you talk about it?
The last thing I really want to touch on, like real quick, is that I thought it was really fun that they go from the first scene is introducing Bowser as this huge, monstrous badass that's like burning down kingdoms, and then the next scene is him having this rock concert in his throne room. And he's like, "I'm going to marry Peach," and that just sets the entire tone for the movie, and was a fun 180 right away for him. But it works for the entire movie.
No matter how bad the villain is, he still believes in the sanctity of marriage.
Yeah, no, he doesn't even want to like force her into it. He wants her to accept. It's only when she says no that he's like, well, fine, I'll burn down your kingdom if you don't. he tried the gentleman approach first.
I reckon he needed the shit, not the trilby. What's the other one?
Fedora,
that's the one. If only he had the fedora. She just needs to see how much of a nice guy he is.
Big trench coat, little katana by the side.
Little katana.
Nothing.
Little katana by like human standards, all about like Bowser standards.
Bowser standards.
Anyway, okay, so rated out of 10, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, true.
Like a 7, I'd say. 7 feels comfortable.
I'm pretty sure that's what we gave it.
I thought I gave mine an 8. But
did you? Wow.
I'm happy to be corrected. Yeah.
Highly rated.
I think I was feeling an 8 when I came out of it, but I've cooled off a little now. Mostly because that little last action sequence is so good and ends so funnily that I was high on the entertainment of it. But now that it's been a week, I'm like, yeah, no, 7 feels right.
If only they didn't have the jar, it would have been a 6.
Yeah, if there was no jar, it would have been a 6. If there was no double Carmen Rider kick by Mario and Luigi, it would have been a 5.
Glad to see where your priorities lie, but fair enough. We shall move on. Speaking of kingdoms, not only are there mushrooms, but there were some tears after Bowser's brutal rejection. Some tears of the kingdom, some might say.
It's a 9. I'm putting it out there. I'm giving it a 9. It's very close to being a 10.
So what changed? What changed? Because you really didn't you didn't want to rush into this last week, and you were like, let me just cook a little bit more. Let me just see where it lands. What's changed?
I let it cook. I went and did my first dungeon. I did more story content, like seeing cutscenes, and yeah, no, it's delivering way more than Breath of the Wild did for me.
Yeah, it's. I haven't had as much time. I've probably only played literally probably like 3 or 4 hours since last recording. I did do the first temple. I thought it was. A lot of people have been saying it's really good, but I think it's only. I think people have been overestimating it.
I think the lead up counts. Like when you're going through.
100%. Literally, you took the words out on Matthew Bastard.
I knew we were going to get there because the dungeon itself is just fine, but the lead up as part of the dungeon had so many layers to it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Loved it. I nearly punched the little bird in the face. I hate him. He's a dumb piece of shit. And when you beat the temple, how you get his spirit, and his spirit is always following you around. That's pretty cool. Yeah, having a great time. I hated how it like sort of guides you to the first like temple or the Rito city. But the Rito city is like cold, so then it's sort of, you have to just keep eating fire stuff to raise your body heat so you're resistant to cold. But I think that might just be the game teaching you how it works. But I think that doing that as the first area is a bit wild. But I think it just might be a me criticism of the game.
I think it worked in its favor a little bit because when you're doing that the first time island, the island of time, they have that snowy area, so you should be decently stockpiled on cold resistant food.
Actually, that's true. Yeah, no. Okay, you got me. All right, you beat me.
So it kind of works. You don't have to go there first. There's another one you can go to and get. It's not a full on heat area, but like you're not going to on the way there. You're not going to be burning. But once you're in the actual area, it'll be really hot. But there's heat resistant gear that you buy right away anyway. So you could go there first.
Yeah, I think you could go anyway first. But no, I'm still loving the game. Pat, any plans for you to buy it? Have we broken you? Has the internet broken you? Everyone's talking about this game.
It's definitely on my mind, but I'm not leaping to buy it just because, as I sort of have been saying, it's not so much that, like, I know the game's good. Everyone tells me the game's good. I believe them. I'm sure the game's good. It's that it's sort of like the Elden Ring thing of the game is great, but it's not really the sort of game that I would normally buy. So I don't feel obligated to buy it unless I'm constantly hammered by everyone saying, no, you need to buy it. It's great. And admittedly, I get a little bit, some from this, some from just being on Discord, some from just people at work. But I don't think it's enough because me wanting to play with people and them only playing this game is what caused me to get Elden Ring. And I know it's not going to go on sale because it's a Nintendo game, so I will buy it eventually, and maybe it won't be on sale.
I've been sitting here waiting to unmute myself to say that exact phrase that it's never going to go on sale because it is a Nintendo game, even doubly so because it's a Zelda game.
Yeah, so
saying that though, eBay does have it. I was sent this from Superfan Dan. eBay does have it for like $64, I think, at the moment. And realistically, that's like what, $15 off. That's the cheapest you're really going to get.
Yeah.
Even when they fully, like 6 months ago, when they gave the release date for Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, like, oh, we're giving it a discount for it, and the discount was like $15 off or $20 off. They made such a big deal about, oh, we're advertising that we're actually having a sale on, and I was like, yeah, cool. Well, what's this sale? Oh, it's like $15 off. Oh, all right. And that's sort of why I know I talk a lot about playing like less, like only buy games when they're 75% off or given through Game Pass, but Nintendo games, like, what am I going to do? Wait 7 years to save $15? No.
Yeah, so I think it's definitely the sort of game that I'm sure I will enjoy. It's not the sort of game I feel rushed to play, but if I'm randomly feeling spontaneous, there's every chance that I do just randomly pick it up, start playing, and really enjoy it. So chances are good there will be some part of one of my future Run the Lounge weeks being like, oh yeah, no, I've been playing Tears of the Kingdom, and everyone else will be like, oh, finally.
Keep in mind as well that it's almost Elden Ring big as well, so there's no rush to get into it because when you finally do, it's going to take you a good chunk of time to actually get through it.
That's true, but remember that I only talked about me finishing Elden Ring in like January. Might have even been February.
Oh yeah, like a year after it came out because you took like a 9-month break.
Maybe not 9 months, but definitely a while. Because, as I say, it's not the sort of game that's ordinarily up my alley. And I see this being a similar thing of get it, play it for a bit, be like, oh, this is pretty good. But then, particularly because I've already missed the initial hype, because it's been out for a couple of weeks already, that there's every chance that as people stop playing it, I also stop playing it for a bit, but I won't have finished it, whereas everyone else will. So, I don't know. It's definitely on my mind. Definitely on my mind. Definitely keeping somewhat of an eye on it, but no immediate plans to rush out and buy it. So there we go. That's my 2 cents.
So I'm going to do something dangerous, and I'm going to I'm going to have Nintendo paint a target on my back right now by talking about how this runs on emulator for a moment.
It's not. You can't mark it down because of that. It's
congratulations, Saif. Fast Travel Lounge now has a channel strike.
I'm sorry, you guys were monetizing these videos?
Not anymore, we're not.
But yeah, no, it's been really interesting seeing that Ryujinx, the emulator I'm using, updates every game to make this game more and more stable every chance it gets. It's gone from pre-release having multiple graphical issues to release say all those graphical issues are sorted out. The big one for me was initially, like a couple days after it launched, I ran into one of those tier cutscenes. And all the sound effects bugged out, because the cutscene kept stuttering. All the sound effects kept playing while the cutscene was stuttering, but the character dialogue goes when it's supposed to. So I just got into this point where, like, by the time the cutscene was half finished, all the music and sound effects were done, and it was just weird grunts during the fight happening over and over.
Mum walks in. You having fun?
A couple days after that, a patch hit, and they're like, whenever there's a stutter, we'll also pause the music and sound effects so everything is playing in time. And that was fine. That was appreciated. But now they've just gotten it to a point where the most recent updates have just flat out made the cutscenes not stutter at all, and they play smoothly. So it's really interesting being here, like actually seeing a emulator progressing in real time, and just for this one game, let's be honest, they're only making these updates so that Tears of the Kingdom will run better on their emulator.
Did the similar sort of thing happen with Breath of the Wild? Not Breath of the Wild. Scarlet and Violet?
No. You're right about it happening with Breath of the Wild. The Wii U emulator literally made headwaves in progress because of that game. Wii U emulation was just kind of there.
Non-existent?
Yeah, basically non-existent. But as soon as Breath of the Wild came out, everyone and their mother was on it, making that emulator work just for that game. And in doing so, it made the Wii U emulator actually pretty decent.
What is it with Nintendo games or Nintendo gamers and just being like, you know what? Emulation. Like, you never hear about this with, like, Xbox, PlayStation. You sort of hear about it with PC and the pirating sort of space, and that's sort of a different issue, but the emulation thing for Nintendo, crazy. And like even the leaks are dropping, like what, it came out 4 or 5 a week earlier, and like you just never hear about that with any other game or any other game company. It's strange.
I think it's a mixture of Nintendo's hardware being really old, so it's more easy to make these emulators for it. And also I think there's just a generation of people that grew up playing Nintendo games on emulator. When I was in high school, like 2007, 2008, N64 emulation wasn't perfect, but it was pretty rampant. And for a few years before that, Super Nintendo emulation was basically done. And it's just, I think that was a lot of people's first experiences with Nintendo games as well.
Yeah.
So I think there's just a culture around Nintendo emulation more than there is for other consoles.
Yeah, interesting.
Especially when the Xbox original is so hard to emulate and no one has a dev build for it. And the one time people did find a dev build for it, the person that owned it fucking gutted it and made it a custom PC for their kid and threw out all the parts.
Right. I remember that. And then like they interviewed him and he's like, oh no, someone will find another one.
And no one has. It's been so long and no one's found another one.
Oh, well, Phil Spencer's probably got one lying around.
Wouldn't be surprised, honestly.
Yeah. Tears of the Kingdom, still good. I don't know how much, like, I'm starting to see a lot more interesting and complicated builds. Like, there's a bunch of stuff that Twitter blew up on yesterday with, like, the physics system that runs is, like, one of the most sophisticated physics systems that most programmers have ever seen because everything works independently from everything else. So from a computation or a formula point of view, it's borderline magic. So it really shows the love and care that Nintendo put into this game. Like, and when you are building stuff, I expected that to be literally the shittest part of the game when I first saw it. I'm like, oh, well, it's Zelda with crafting. Then you see it and you're like, it's just easy and it works. And even dumb shit, simple designs solve the puzzle. Like, you don't have to overcomplicate it. You can literally just put planks in a straight line and make a bridge and that's it. You don't have to make like something cool.
There was a shrine I did today and I didn't know what the intended way to do the puzzle was. This might be the intended way to do the puzzle, I'm not sure. But basically, they give you a fire hydrant, and I just put it at the end and turned it on while lava flowed downstream. So it kept making all these rock platforms for me, and then I just keep picking them up from the other side of the bridge and just stack them on top of each other until I had enough to make a bridge. And then from that bridge, I connected what I was standing on to the end of the shrine and just ran that way.
Nice.
And I don't know if that was the intended method, but it worked.
Definitely not.
As long as it works, that's all that matters. That's all I care about. But that's definitely its strength. But yeah, if you have a Switch, but at the same time, if you didn't like Breath of the Wild, and I've had a couple of conversations with friends about this. Like, if you don't like Breath of the Wild, you're not going to like this game. Like,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like Zelda is going in this new direction. Yeah,
I think they've confirmed that they're going to stick to open world games at least for a little while.
You say is going. It's been 6 years.
No, but like even future Zelda games will keep the open world design. It's been 6 years, but this is the first game since Breath of the Wild.
Hey, they did Skyward Sword Remastered.
That's not a new game.
Imagine that they just put that into the Breath of the Wild
Where's
engine.
my Wind Waker?
This is the remake. It's open world now.
Okay. Ooh, hang on. He's like, good bro. Well, Wind Waker's an open world game. Yeah, isn't it? Oh,
kinda.
Spirit Tracks, Phantom Hourglass, mostly open world game. Ocarina of Time, sort of open world.
No, Ocarina of Time is definitely like wide linear. Like it's a bunch of zones connected to each other through loading screens.
Hyrule Field is a fucking loading screen. God, I hate Hyrule Field. Okay, I'll wear that.
Yeah, going back for a second to Steven's point about all these game developers and programmers on Twitter just going, "This is black magic. How does this work?" All of those tweets have kind of put into perspective for me why this took so long to develop now, because it just must have been such a computational thing to handle, and like getting the programming to work properly and getting all of these actors to work as intended, that it just took this long to do. And they've straight up said that the game's been done for a year. This last year was just straight up polished to make sure that everything's working as intended. And good on them. That 1 year paid off, because I haven't run into any bugs. I haven't seen anything like really break, and all of the physics stuff just works.
I haven't even heard about it, because Twitter's usually an echo chamber for the negative. I haven't even seen anything, people even reporting, oh yeah, my game crashed, shit game. I have never seen anything about that. Like, even people that are emulating the game are like, huh, it works.
Yeah, no, it's fascinating to see this game just do its thing and just work. This is like the biggest thing for game programming since Half-Life 2's Gravity Gun, I think.
Does that make the pain of Redfall better or worse for you, Steve?
Oh, wish we didn't bring that up. I was actually playing Redfall a couple days ago.
Oh no, he went back.
Crazy. He decided not to bring that up in his Round the Lounge segment because he was too embarrassed, yet here we are.
Okay, well, I think if you play it in small chunks, it becomes more tolerable. Let's leave it at that. Very sad.
You know what's also tolerable when you take it in small doses? Ecstasy.
Take that in big doses, you'll have the best time of your life for a couple minutes. Yeah. Look, let's move on.
Yeah, no, we've spent quite a bit on this already. I didn't want to spend more than 5, but we just kept finding more topics to talk about. 9 out of 10 for me. I've got a bunch of nitpicks with it, but none of them affected enough to bring it down lower than that 9.
As I asked last week, I'm pretty sure, is there a particular build or something that you've seen that you think is particularly noteworthy? And likewise, is there something that you are looking forward to doing that you haven't yet done that you might come back and talk about next week? Because
I actually saw a new build that was insane. Someone just made a cage with
the torture chamber.
Yeah, the torture chamber. Yeah. They made a cage with like a single platform hanging off the middle of it with like a laser show in the center. So when you turn it on, it just traps all of the enemies inside it and it just lasers them to death. But adding to it, they also made a platform for them to stand on and watch the torture chamber happen.
Oh, okay, that's too much.
That's pretty good.
Speaking of, where do I get extra batteries? Are they in the underground?
Batteries I found in the gacha machines.
Like the batteries that permanently upgrade the amount of energy you've got.
Oh, those. Okay, so you know those triangular crystals you can get by trading in the zonite?
Oh, you need like 1 million of them?
Yeah, those ones.
Yeah.
When you get 100 of them, you go to the guy that you go to a robot that's next to the fourth shrine where you woke up at the beginning of the game, and every 100 gives you 1 pip. So you need 300 for a full battery.
Fucking hell! Holy shit!
That's why the devs exist, for you to grind out Zonites.
Okay. Don't like that, but I don't have to do that, I guess.
Oh.
Okay. Anyway,
I
hate that gacha machine.
I've forgotten what I did with super late edition to run launch. I, on the weekend, struck up Deep Rock Galactic and played a little bit of their season 3, their latest seasonal update. Still an excellent game. Added a bunch of new content. I don't know if the new weapons were added for season 3, but there are new weapons since I've played, and I haven't played in a few months. Likewise, a bunch more cosmetics. Likewise, even a couple new mission types. So that game is still getting a lot of love. It's becoming harder for me to play on my Windows machine because my Windows machine is dying.
Ugh.
You know, they just released a new product that might be really good for you. It's I think they call it the Asus ROG Ally.
They do, and I do enjoy being an ally, let me tell you. Yeah, it's definitely been on my mind, seeing, because someone at work recently bought a Steam Deck as well, of handheld, particularly Windows gaming is a thing. Definitely something that I am leaning more and more towards getting to replace my Windows machine, because I don't want to fork out the probably approaching a couple K to properly upgrade the machine for all the bits that it sort of needs, because it is basically 11 years old. But no, I just wanted to quickly toss that in at the end. Deep Rock Galactic is still an excellent game. Kind of has the thing of Tears of the Kingdom. Also has a lot of tears in me crying about how good the game is, and the kingdom being underground, because we're all mole people at the end of the day. Am I wrong? Let me know.
Close enough.
Close enough. Wait, did you give it a score? Sorry, did you give Tears of the Kingdom a score out of 10, Steve?
Yeah, 9.
Okay, yeah, you also gave it 9. So yeah, sweet. Just wanted to make sure that you hit both of those bases in what might be a first for at least 10, if not more episodes. We've hit the end of Run the Lounge rather quickly, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Yeah, it's put that on the leaderboard. Make sure to put the 3 characters in as ass, because that's always the funniest 3 letters you can put in on a high score board. But it means that we are at the end of Run Lounge for this week. Thank you to you both, as always. We get to move on to part 2 for this week, which is, of course, the news. Saif, it seems like someone heard our little nostalgia trip talking about SmackDown versus Raw and decided, you know what? Let's just build a game that harkens back to ye old glory days.
Yeah, no, AEW is here to deliver on everything we love about wrestling as usual.
Wrestling.
Kenny Omega is part of AEW, and he is huge on video games. So it wouldn't surprise me if he somehow convinced the head of the company to get this done. They've gone and gotten they've gotten Ukes, the people that actually made the old SmackDown versus Raw games, and gotten them to make a wrestling game based on their roster. Pretty excited about this. They announced it a few years ago. It went quiet, and now they've announced it's going to be coming out next month.
On June 29th. We should probably tell our lovely listeners what the game itself is called.
It is called AEW Fight Forever, which Fight Forever is a popular chant in wrestling, so it just makes sense to do that.
Man, I can't believe they've done an entire arcade game of fan service in a wrestling genre.
I mean, what else are you going to do? Not service to fans?
All right. I thought I could hold it in. I can't. What's AEW? Like, is AEW a spin-off of WWE?
It's a competition called All Elite Wrestling. So there were some people that were fed up with how WWE is as a brand, and WWE was going on in America kind of unchecked as the superpower of wrestling. So these guys came up to start up their own company and kind of be like the alternative to WWE and have its own like massive appeal. And they've been doing really good. They've been going on for a few years. They keep striking all these really good deals with other promotions, and they've been carving out their own niche in the wrestling world.
Well, they can't be doing that good because they're not getting Vince McMahon a shit ton of money by being sold to Saudi Arabia. So, like, how good could they really be doing?
Instead, they sell themselves to Japan.
Oh, okay. So when America does it, it's bad. When Japan does it, it's good. All right, another one. Yeah. Fucking weebs.
It does. It looks kind of interesting. It's a little bit perhaps, it's kind of weird to say, even more retro or old school than the SmackDown versus Raw that was kind of my specific glory time period.
It looks like they haven't progressed in like 12 years since the last SmackDown versus Raw game.
A little.
In fact, graphically, it still looks like a PS2 SmackDown versus Raw game.
Yeah, it does. But it'll be interesting.
Yeah, it doesn't look very good.
Well, because the thing is, it's competing with the very high bar that is a functional wrestling game brought to you by the latest SmackDown vs. Raw title. So I'm sure it'll get some traction just by, hopefully, not being shit. But yeah, available for, I think it's all platforms. Yeah, PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC.
Yeah, all platforms. I think it's coming out at budget price. I don't think it's going to be full price. So I'll keep an eye on it just to see if it's fun. I'll wait for a couple of reviews or like impressions before I fully get on board with it.
And as the AEW World Champion and World Tag Team Champion, which funny because there's now multiple brands that have World Champions. Kenny Omega saying in a press release, where's the quote? AEW Fight Forever has exceeded my highest expectations, and I'm confident that June 29th will be a momentous day for wrestling fans and gamers alike. So, if you want to take the word of someone who literally gets punched in the head for a living, it should be a great game.
The funniest thing about it, though, is the trailer ads that I don't know his name. Probably said it, I wasn't listening. But he's just like literally there and just his undies pretty much. Very strange.
In his wrestling gear, thank you very much.
Very strange for him to be talking, oh yeah, can't wait to release the game, looks good. And he's just sitting there, you can obviously tell he's like tensing.
Excuse me, Steve?
He's
That's
obviously
his cosplay outfit.
And he's obviously like tensing his biceps as well. Like he's jacked, we get it. But yeah, it's a very strange review.
If you watch the trailer backwards, he says you can't milk these.
Hang on.
You can definitely try.
He invites you to try. Oh dear. Please don't kill me, wrestling man. You are much stronger than I am. Next up on the list, we have Blue Protocol being released in like three weeks for Japan, but in 3 years. Wait, no, at least a year. Wait, well, sometime in 2024 for everywhere else. Congrats, Japan! You've done it again. I sleep. I don't know much about Blue Protocol. Tag me in, as the wrestlers say.
Okay, so you know Sword Art Online?
I do.
Oh, fuck, yeah, nah, I'm asleep.
Yeah. Go back to sleep then. This is an MMO that's kind of like hitting that same fantasy setting vibe.
So if I die in this game, I die in real life?
Oh, definitely. If you want to speedrun death, you can.
Finally!
All you need to do is get that VR headset that has dynamite stuck to the front of it.
Yeah. All you have to do is buy PSVR 2 and then also buy a hand grenade, and you too can build your own Sword Art Online rig.
It's a little expensive, but the results are what matters.
Ooh.
But no, I've kind of on and off had my eyes on this game just because I thought it looks pretty fun and interesting. This is only really on the docket because I cannot believe we're doing this again, because for so long we've been in this phase of whenever a game comes out in Japan, it's pretty good about having a worldwide release. And it's so weird to see supposed to be a big game for Namco Bandai just have this at least 1 year delay between the Japanese release and the worldwide release. You don't get that too often these days, except for mobile gacha games.
Look, I'll be honest with you, Saif, I don't care. And I didn't even know these games existed.
Where's the butt, Steve? Show me the butt.
It's coming. But a key thing that you forgot to mention, that it is a free-to-play online action RPG. So it's like 3 people are going to play this, maybe 4 outside of Japan.
Depends.
Yeah?
A lot of people.
All right, cool. It's being published by Amazon, and tell me how New World's going.
I think New World's doing okay.
It
not
seems
like it fantastically, but I think it's got enough players that they're still supporting it.
New World player base. Let's find out. How much?
See, what's funny is that in New Zealand, there's a supermarket chain called New World. So New World player base in New Zealand is very different.
But yeah, also New World's player base is very different, because if you want a comparison, you'd look at like Black Desert Online or Terra or something along those lines to compare what the potential market could be.
online player count?
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but when I think of successful recent online RPGs,
Fucking
I
hell,
think
he's
of
both high.
such titans as Babylon's Fall.
Well, I
And
base
I
game.
just don't know.
We don't want to
if,
set the bar too high.
Okay,
Exactly, yeah.
we're playing a game. Black Desert Online, how many players do you think it has?
At least 7.
On Steam,
On Steam. Sorry, I should have said that.
Yeah, at least 7.
20k.
20k? Okay, you're both wrong. 14,000. Playing 12 minutes ago.
Am I wrong? Is that not at least 7?
by Price is Right rules, Patrick wins because he's closest without going over.
Okay, and how many people are playing New World?
I went first, Saif, you go next.
Like 200.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to guess 201.
All right, well, it's 10,000. You're both fucking idiots.
Hey, what? I win.
Yeah, you do
I
win.
win again.
Fuck you.
So that's interesting. They're both more popular than what I thought. So maybe this game does have a bit more a je ne sais quoi than what I thought it would.
Man goes to New Caledonia for 1 week, and he's like, I'm going to sprinkle French into every fucking sentence from now on.
Patrick, I'm going to take this as a win and we can move on.
All right.
Well, move on we shall to the title is the segue, but I don't. It feels wrong. It feels so wrong, but so right to say we get to move on to the Wonderful 101. I don't know. We get a DLC for the Wonderful One After School Hero.
It's free. Being released for free.
It is free. By the time this podcast released, part 2 of this DLC will probably be released. It is covering a character that no one in the Wonderful 101 fan base likes. This little shit Luca.
Steve? Oh.
This little shit Luca is responsible for so much controversy in that game. Like, the world almost gets destroyed because of him being like, no, I don't like superheroes.
Actually sounds exactly like
Steven?
Ava in Borderlands 3. Well, okay, and Steven. But Ava in Borderlands 3. And then Gearbox is like, no. We really need you to like this character because she will be the protagonist of Borderlands 4. So let's just give her own DLC. And people were like, but do we have to?
Can we just kill them off? I know this is harsh for the Wonderful 101 since he's a grade schooler. But can we just shove him into a locker?
Seth, I don't know how to tell you this. Pink Shirt Day was last week. We are an anti-bullying podcast.
Dank.
Speak for yourself. I'm a pro-bullying podcast.
I love it when Steven bullies me every podcast.
Yeah?
Steve, you're an amateur bullying podcast at best.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Dabs. So have you guys played Wonderful 101?
I have. I really like Wonderful 101, and I will go and play Wonderful 101 again before I play this DLC. As in, like, I won't touch a DLC, I'm just going to go do a replay of that game.
All right. Question number 2. How are you going to replay it?
I have it on Steam.
Emulator?
I supported a Kickstarter. And this
really
this
interesting, man.
This DLC is part of the Kickstarter promises for reaching their stretch goals, even though everyone begged them to take it off the stretch goal list because no one likes Luca.
Yeah, he's the worst character in the game. He's literally the antithesis of what the game stands for. He does have he does come around. He becomes the Wonderful 102. But no, playing this game on the Wii U is the only way. There, I said it.
You know what? He's kind of right.
Yeah.
I don't want to say he's completely right, but he's kind of there.
He's got the right spirit. Well, let's wash away your tiredness of Luca by letting you wash my rock.
Your rock.
That's right, I said it. My rock.
Tell us more about this rock, Patrick.
I think he's talking about his rock hard ad.
If you think that, you are sadly mistaken.
Is more like his rock hard flabs, am I right?
Right, there we go.
Hey. Ooh.
So, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes you live under a rock and you just think, oh, your rock just gets so dirty with all the grime and all the use of the jar with Bowser in it. Wouldn't there be a better way to just clean the awful grime and bodily fluids off of the rock? Well, I meant the person, not just where I live. Well, wouldn't it be great if the nice people at Power Wash Simulator made that a reality? And then I do this dramatic like Jim stare camera and I go, but wait, you can. Thanks to very special Power Wash Simulator DLC for SpongeBob SquarePants, which I think is a perfect touch, and I don't know how they got away with this.
Look, I'm going to be honest. When I saw this, I thought I was having a stroke. I didn't believe this was real, especially after coming off the Tomb Raider and Final Fantasy VII collabs. This is such a drastically different direction, but I'm all in on it.
Yeah, no, it's interesting how it can get dirty if it's already underwater. But my business. And what's it going to spray with more water? Huh? None of this adds up.
I mean, they have a beach and an ocean in SpongeBob.
That's true, they do, and they do.
Blue Lagoon.
They also have a thriving underwater economy, the exchange of goods and services. There's an entire fast food restaurant going on.
There are two. One of them successful, the other not so much.
True. They also invented artificial general intelligence much faster than humans did. Eat your heart out, OpenAI. Yeah, no, Bikini Bottom has a lot going for it.
You guys are going to get this. Have you guys even played Power Wash Simulator?
No, it's been on my to get list for quite a while. Like since the Final Fantasy VII DLC launched, I've been wanting to get this game.
Just like as a complete sentence, Power Wash Simulator has been on my wish list for a while. Is a very, very sad sentence. But I also can't disagree. I haven't played Power Wash Simulator, but I am a little interested. I've seen people play it, and I've heard it's actually very therapeutic.
I have heard the same thing.
Yeah, I've heard the exact same thing too. I've also heard it's frustrating when you're like down to the last little bit of grime and you can't find it.
Yeah, true.
I've heard that as well. Just like in real life, there's always a little bit of grime you can't have makeup.
I only promise to clean 99.9% of the germs.
I mean, hey, well, in order to clean teeth, we just need 4 out of 5 dentists. So, 80%.
Can't believe
and teeth need to be pretty clean.
Every quarter of your mouth, you have to use a whole dentist to clean.
It's a fifth, but you're close. I like the spirit.
Just to let people know what you get with this DLC. For $8 you get 6 maps, which is Conch Street, which is where SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward live.
Whoa! Don't dox them like that. You kidding me?
You get the Bikini Bottom bus from Rock Bottom, the Krusty Krab,
weird episode. Yeah,
the Paddy Wagon, the Invisible Boatmobile, and the Mermalair. Oh, Mermalair, yeah.
Yeah, we're invisible.
I love the idea of trying to clean the Invisible Boatmobile.
And for Steven's pleasure, 10 achievements.
Hey, there we go.
10. Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. Okay, we can move on. It's funny. Maybe we should spend too much time on it.
Have you met us?
Yeah. Well, we saved time at the Yeah. It doesn't matter.
All right. Well, moving on. Speaking of cleaning up grime, Ubisoft is talking about Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time remake again.
They do this every 3 months.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? Oh man. So the latest news this time is that okay, you may have heard that it's been in development for a while, but don't worry because it's finally entered the development phase of conception stage.
Hey, can you repeat that? Because last I checked, this was meant to come out in 2021 at some point.
Yeah. No, I can see the confusion. Let me run this by you again. We'll see if we get this. So this game has been in development. Yep. For a while.
Yep.
Cool. Yep. For multiple years.
It's missed 2 release dates.
It has. Yep. So it's coming. It's coming. Just trust me. Yep.
I'm trusting the plan.
And so we are letting Ubisoft cook, and they have told us that it is on its way, and that it has entered the development stage of conception.
You know what? It's Ubisoft. I shouldn't have trusted the plan.
Yeah, never could have. Yeah, it was
the plan had an observatory tower that you needed to climb before you could see the plan, dumbass.
I was waiting for them to cook, and they haven't built the kitchen yet.
What do you mean? The kitchen is scattered into 1,000 pieces over like 17 square miles.
We just need Link to come and repair it. Just glue it all together.
Do you reckon this game ever existed?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe.
You know what? Actually, no. This might be a mega big brain play. Maybe they announce things like, oh yeah, the Sands of Time, whatever it's called, is being remade, and then everyone talks about it, and then they're like, you know what? Maybe we should actually start it.
Yes, the Kickstarter gambit.
I believe that at one point this may have been a real game, at least to the point that they were testing things before making like fully completed assets. But then they realized that things went wrong and they had to go back to the drawing board. Would you like to hear this theory?
Okay. Before we get into that theory, I think I've heard this theory before. It sounds exactly like Skull and Bones.
All right. So you're familiar with the concept already. Yes. So they showed development footage when this was with Ubisoft Mumbai, and
of course,
and we saw little bits and pieces, but it turns out that the game engine they had doesn't have wall running. You can run up walls, but you can't run horizontally across them.
But Saif, isn't that the whole shtick of being a prince from Persia?
You're right, Patrick. The whole shtick and gameplay of Prince of Persia revolves around running on walls. So that presents a bit of a problem there.
There's a slight snag.
And it turns out no one at Ubisoft Mumbai has engine knowledge, so they couldn't go and implement it into the game.
Why would a game need an engine? It's not a car.
You need things to make the console run.
You know what? That's the out-of-the-box thinking. That means the prince will never run on walls, Steve. Thank you.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, man.
So this game has missed 2 dates and had to go back to Ubisoft Montreal so they can go get the engine and go, we really need to put wall running into this game. It's not Prince of Persia if you can't do the one singular gameplay thing that this game is based around.
But what does the game cringe around? You know? Like, let's ask the real questions.
It cringed around Warrior Within, the sequel.
Oh, I never played a Prince of Persia game. Actually, no. I played the one that was on the Wii. I lied. It was not very good. The Two Thrones, maybe?
Yes, the Two Thrones. I think people say that's the second best one.
Oh, really? I did not enjoy it.
I believe that people usually go, Sands of Time is the best. Warrior Within is the worst because it's full of too much 2000s edge and crunch. And then Two Thrones is in between because it meshes the edginess from Warrior Within with the fantasy of Sands of Time and does it well enough, but it doesn't hit Sands of Time's level of just being as good as that.
Too much edge and grunge sounds like a job for Power Wash Simulator.
Look, I'm just gonna say those people are all cowards because it had I Stand Alone as the main theme song, and that slapped for that game. So yeah, everyone's wrong. That game was great. I loved Warrior Within.
Okay. Maybe I let this game cook is probably the thing to do.
They've been cooking for multiple years.
Yeah, well, let them cook more. Let
It's still raw.
Yeah, when you take it out, you take...
slowest of cookers, Steve.
Yeah, like you take it out, take a bite, you get diarrhea for 3 days, you put it back in. What do you want me to say? They're trying.
We're getting salmonella.
Yeah, it'll come out in 4 years. Just like the KOTOR remake. That's when that dreamt I held it in my arm.
Speaking of remakes being held in your arms, how many if you had to hazard a guess, Steve, you know what? I'm gonna put my throbbing large foot-long wallet on the table right now. How many Mortal Kombat games do you think have come out?
I'd say at least 7.
Fair. Okay, so let's say the 8th game is cooking away, slow cooking, not as long as Prince of Persia, but like simmering away.
It's Armageddon, isn't it?
Hit a little bit of a boil recently, so we had to turn it down, put the lid on, let it simmer for a little bit, let it reduce. What do you think we'd title that game?
Probably Mortal Kombat, but it started with a C. Spell it properly.
That is a crime against humanity right there. It goes against the Geneva Convention. Please revoke that statement.
The Geneva Yeah, I don't know then. Mortal Kombat 12? I know it's Mortal Kombat 12.
Hang on.
You're going to call the 8th entry in the series Mortal Kombat 12.
Oh, sorry, I skipped ahead to the end. Yes, I'd call it Mortal Kombat 8. Well, the sequel will be Mortal Kombat 9. I'm
so
having a strike.
confidently wrong. It's amazing.
Skipped commercial.
Hold on, let's see where his mind goes with this.
I'll have what he's cooking. What if I told you, Steve, that turns out it doesn't matter how long it's been cooking for. There's only one recipe. That's right. Throw away the recipe book. It's a single game that will emerge from the ashes. It depends on how long you've been cooking it for. Hopefully not ashes, but like emerge from the molten mess of slow cooked. I really don't know how to make this food metaphor keep going, but I kind of want to try.
Just eat it already.
You eat it and you're like, that was the one. And you know what? That's when the people behind Mortal Kombat was like, that's it. They said the line but, and then they decided that they were going to name it Mortal Kombat 1. Congratulations, we've made it full circle.
I cannot believe we still haven't learned the lessons from Battlefield and the Xbox.
It frustrates me to no end that every time we dunk on a series for going back to 1, and every time they continue to try.
You know what? They've rebooted this series before. You want to know what they called that game? They called it Mortal Kombat. So we've got Mortal Kombat, and Mortal Kombat 1. And let's not forget, in the movies, we have Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
I hate this.
Yeah,
I hate this so much. The fatality is in the arteries supplying blood to my brain.
Yeah.
By the way, it's going to be $70 US. And before anyone asks, yes, it has rollback.
Say that?
I was going to ask if you were going to buy it, but I mean, if it's got rollback, you've basically already bought it, haven't you?
No, I'm going to roll back my money back into my wallet after purchasing this.
I don't know what, you're going to emulate it? I don't know what you mean.
You know what? I don't know where I was going with this. It's just that rollback rolls back the frames, and I was just going to roll back my money back to me. I didn't think any further on this.
You know what the funniest thing?
I'm time wasted thinking about
I'm
this.
I'm just going to skip Steph's comment. I don't know what the fuck it means. He's probably having a stroke. It's coming out the Switch. How crazy is that?
They have a whole other development studio making the Switch version, as well as the PC version. Yeah, no, they've got 2 other support studios, one of them doing the PC version and one of them doing Switch.
Wild.
Q-Lock for PC and Shiver Entertainment and Saber Interactive for Switch.
I don't know any of those words. But it's why don't they just not develop for those consoles? Surely they're not going to bring in that one. I'm sure all the Switch players, there are a shit ton of Switches out there.
Hey, Steve, I don't know about you, but off the back of such banger titles as Pokemon Scarlet Violet and Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, obviously there's a really large amount of wholesome family content that does really well on Switch. So naturally, we also want to market Mortal Kombat 1 to the same people.
You reckon they're trying to line it up with the movie?
Probably not.
They're making another movie?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they're making a sequel, yeah. Being filmed in Queensland.
Are they calling it Mortal Kombat?
Well, no, they made that movie that came out, year before last?
Yeah,
Did
I think it was 2021.
Mortal Kombat?
No, that was just Mortal Kombat. Yeah. Well, that's Mortal Kombat. This is Mortal Kombat 1. Assuming the movie...
If it was filmed in Australia, shouldn't it be called Mortal Wombat?
Ooh. It's Mortal Kombat, but it's upside down.
So I can't find a breakdown of sales for this game, but I believe Mortal Kombat 11 actually did do pretty well on Nintendo Switch. So Warner Brothers is probably just like, yeah, no, it did well enough on the last game. Just do it again and hit that market. Get as many people into the ecosystem as we can.
I love the idea that you go to someone's house and they're like, let me just boot up my Switch for some fun, family-friendly games. And it's like, what game do we play? Do we play Mario Kart 8? Do we play Mario Party Superstars? Do we play Super Smash Bros. Ultimate? Do we play Mario Tennis Aces? Or do we play Mortal Kombat? One of these is not like the others. But hey, they bring it to the Switch. Got to be some purpose for it.
But anyway, more importantly though, they've also, the DLC is leaked for it as well.
Yes, it has, courtesy of
Amazon Italy.
Yep, gotta love the Amazonian Italians leaking DLC like nobody's business.
First Tifa runs for Senate, now Mortal Kombat's all over the place.
Is there anything Italy can't do? Oh man. So we have the announcement of 6 playable characters as part of Combat Pack 1, which is funny because it's Combat Pack 1 for Mortal Kombat 1. But I guess we don't have to name the DLCs. Anything that makes sense. We have Quan Chi, Omni-Man, Ermac, Peacemaker, Takeda, boom, nailed it. That's what I said the first time. Go back and listen if you don't believe me. And Homelander. There are some interesting names in this list.
Yeah. Ermac's played my favorite character from Mortal Kombat Deception. He's fucking...
Ermac's always been sick. Like, in Mortal Kombat 9, he's really fucking good too.
Yeah. That's all I have to say about it. I think I'm getting confused with Ken, that blind guy.
Yeah, Kenshi's the blind guy with the sword.
Yeah. Sorry, I Max, that's not cool. That's fun.
But you know who is cool? Omni-Man.
Omni-Man's so good. So a while ago, Peacemaker and Homelander leaked for this game, and I haven't seen the boys yet, but I was like, Homelander's a good pick. I think Omni-Man would also have been a good pick for later down the line for Mortal Kombat because they do multiple season passes and they keep pulling from different things. Like Mortal Kombat 11 had
RoboCop.
Yeah, RoboCop, Terminator, but also the Ninja Turtles and Hellboy.
Didn't one of them have the alien? Am I crazy?
That was Mortal Kombat 10. Yeah, that had the alien and the Predator.
That's right.
But yeah, no, getting Homelander and Omni-Man in this first pack is really good, especially with how well received Invincible was for its first season and how gruesome Omni-Man is in that show. He fits really well with this universe.
Oh, he does, but that just reminds me in that we should be hearing something about Invincible Season 2 in the next couple months, I think.
We should. It's coming out soon.
Yeah, they did that first trailer a little while ago saying, yeah, it's cooking. Animation takes time.
That was such a cool trailer because of how meta it was. I really liked that trailer.
Yeah, no, it's a really good trailer.
Go and watch Invincible Season 2 trailer if you haven't already. Very, very good. Yeah, and also Quan Chi, another fan favorite from just the Mortal Kombat series in general.
Yeah.
He's usually the villain.
He is a villain, yeah. He helps kill Liu Kang.
Yeah. You have a follow-up for that, or are you just going to let that hang?
No, I don't.
No.
Cool.
Just hey, this is one of the guys that killed one of the main characters of the series at one point.
The police don't care. We don't care. Also, in Combat Pack 1, we have 5 cameo characters of Tremor, Johnny Cage, Chameleon, Movado, and Farah. Johnny Cage, I'm surprised isn't part of the core roster.
He is actually. So this is a small discussion point, but it seems like that. So cameo fighters in this game are going to be assist characters that are their own separate roster.
Oh, so we got Waluigi in this one?
Maybe.
Oh, hang on.
Hold on. Let's send a letter to Ed Boon. Let's see what he says.
Let him cook. Let him cook.
I'll workshop the tweet now.
Waluigi when?
I didn't realize when they first announced this that the cameo fighters were a separate roster. So it seems like you pick your main character that you're going to fight with, and then you have like a whole other selection for where your assists are going to be.
So Johnny Cage can assist Johnny Cage.
Yeah, Johnny Cage will be able to assist Johnny Cage, and that's not weird because time travel exists in this universe, and that's also where I was going to get into with Takeda, because Takeda was in Mortal Kombat 10, and he was he's one of the combat kids. But if everyone from the main cast is like in their 20s, then he shouldn't be around.
What, like around kids? Like, what do you mean?
Takeda shouldn't be born yet.
Well, the world got reset.
Okay, so like, it's technically true.
Yeah, no, the world got reset, but that means like Kenshi is his dad. But if Kenshi's like 20 and Takeda's like 18 when Kenshi is 50, there's a time gap there that doesn't make sense. But yeah, they're probably still going to do like some multiverse bullshit or some time travel shenanigans again.
All right. This is all fun and games, but Ultra Instinct Shaggy in Mortal Kombat 1 when?
I actually really want that, but I think they're going to save Scorpion for multiverses and do that instead.
They could do both.
They could do both. You know what? Cross promotion. Scorpion comes out in multiverses the same time they add Ultra Instinct Shaggy to Mortal Kombat 1.
Could you imagine they add Velma to Mortal Kombat, but she calls the police and it's a police fatality?
There is a cop character in Mortal Kombat actually, and he does have police fatalities.
He does. Oh man.
Well, should be fun.
He just straight up has a gun, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
I remember cheesing my brother out by just constantly unloading on him.
Bastard. What do you reckon? Are you guys going to get it? Is Mortal Kombat is probably my fighting game in quotation marks of choice, only because I like gory and all that kind of stuff. It was edgy when I started playing it. I'll get it for 6 years later for 75% off.
What do you mean started playing it? Mortal Kombat 1. This is the first game.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, here we go.
Oh, wait. Sorry. Did you play the demo?
No. I played. I don't think funny thing to say. Well, the last one I played was Mortal Kombat 11. That's Mortal Kombat 2-1.
Mortal Kombat 1-1.
That actually reminds me, there's something really funny about this game's logo in that it's just the Mortal Kombat 11 logo, but they removed one of the ones and pushed the text closer to the one in the middle.
Got him.
Holy shit, that's smart.
And also speaking of a demo, if you pre-order the game, then you get early access to a beta in August.
Oh, of course you do.
And the game launches in September.
So I am a little interested. Mortal Kombat is the game that I feel like is really made when it's kind of like a late night, play a bunch of video games with the boys type thing, which I just don't really have the group of people that I once did. Like I played, I don't remember because there's been so fucking many Mortal Kombats at this point, but
what are you talking about? There's only one of them right now.
I got him.
Okay, it was funny when I did it, real fucking annoying when you did it, right?
You would have clapped if I did it to Steven.
Shit. I mean, I would have, but no, I was trying to remember the quote from Far Cry 3 and I fucked it up. Damn it. It's Vance?
Vas, I think.
I don't know.
Vas. Yeah, no, Vas makes sense. The one time it's funny, 2 times it's fucking annoying. That's the quote that I was meant to say. About 11 times now we're talking. No, I don't remember which numbers, but there was one on PS3 that I played a ton with my brothers, and that was an excellent time.
Yeah, that would have been Mortal Kombat 9.
Sure. And then one on Vita, which I played a fair amount.
Also Mortal Kombat 9.
Okay, well, we're off to a really good start. And then one that came to PC, but it wasn't Mortal Kombat 9. It was the one at least one after that, so it would have been 10 or 11.
Mortal Kombat X.
How did I fuck that up? It was 10 or 11, and I used X. Damn it.
It's X because it's a Roman numeral for 10.
Yeah, sure, the one with different movesets and stuff?
Yeah, that's the one. You could pick between like 3 different variants per character.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Oh,
cool.
yeah, that one, yeah.
Played that one a little bit, less so, but played that one with a friend through uni. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I am interested in this game, but if no one around me also is interested and wants to play it, then I will probably live vicariously through other people playing it.
I'm interested because Omni-Man is going to be on the season pass, but not interested enough to buy it for full price with the season pass price. So I'll wait.
I can't believe you want to buy the DLC just to be a nice fatherly figure to Invincible.
Oh, the best father figure to Invincible. I'll show him like what they have to do to mimic a fraction of our power.
I'll show him a really quick cheat to catch a train in Chicago.
But yeah, no, Mortal Kombat I'm usually more interested in for the story and not for the multiplayer. Like for X and 11 I didn't like how those played. So I'm hoping Mortal Kombat 12 at least game feel wise is a lot better. But if it's not, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it because I'm going to try and get this cheap just for the story and for Omni-Man.
What about mouthfeel?
Mouthfeel, I cannot talk about right now because I've got a butter menthol in my mouth and it's really hard to talk.
No. I was going to say something funny. I wonder how Omni-Man's actually going to look because he's like animated and yeah. They're going to make him like a weird 3D type of thing. You're going to be animated.
He just needs to be voiced by J.K. Simmons, and that's all that matters. True. You know what? They could probably face scan J.K. Simmons and do that.
No, but the thing is, J.K. Simmons is fucking ripped in real life. They could just literally use an image of J.K. Simmons and call him Omni-Man, and you know what? I'd believe it.
Yeah, no, this is the perfect path to go down.
Yeah, no, I have so much respect for that man. I am very, very jealous, and I am less than half his age, and I feel really bad about it.
I need to go and watch Whiplash. I've seen clips of him in that movie, and it's just phenomenal, that performance.
So he's really good in Whiplash, sure, but just in terms of his physique, because he after Whiplash decided I should get in shape, and is now, or at least was, because it's been like a year or two. It was kind of like lockdown era. It was like the lockdown arc of J.K. Simmons. He got fucking caked up. It's crazy.
Like we're talking we're talking sponge cake or beef cake or what?
Him him and Whiplash would shit. What's the other guy's name? The one that's in Top Gun Maverick. God, why don't I remember his name?
You're on your own on this one.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Oh, the actor, the main actor,
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
No,
Val Kilmer
from Whiplash.
I haven't seen Whiplash.
Yeah, me either.
The kid. Oh my god, you guys are both useless.
I told you
Shit,
you're on your
I
own for
looked this
this
up.
one.
Oh god, I didn't believe me when my parents said it. I didn't believe it when you said it. Shit, I need to look this up. It's C maybe. No, completely
Miles
wrong.
Teller?
Miles Teller.
Ah.
Anyway, J.K. Simmons in Whiplash would psychologically abuse Miles Teller. J.K. Simmons now in Whiplash would just physically abuse Miles Teller. Like just actual bully stance. Anyway, I don't know why I'm simping so hard over J.K. Simmons. We should move on. Yeah, Mortal Kombat, super interesting. Hope that
Comes out soon.
It does. Really hope that this might finally be the end of deciding to call a game one.
It won't.
It won't be, but god damn it, it really should.
It sucks. I'm just going to call it Mortal Kombat 12.
I'm just going to call it Mortal Kombat. I don't care what number it is. The new one.
Speaking of one, did you know that we finally got one back over Activision Blizzard? They we talked and
Wait, hold on. I got to reset the counter for talking about Activision Blizzard on the podcast.
Yep. And while you're at it, probably just knock the Dayson's Velociraptor attacks as well. I just have a bad feeling about 20 minutes from now.
Okay, so Exoprimal's going to drop soon?
That is the hope, yes. But no, speaking of things we've won, we finally won one over Activision Blizzard. We keep talking about how shitty their monetization practices are, and particularly with regards to Diablo Immortal, how just fucking awful their greed has been with that game. And we finally won. We got them to pay, specifically for not disclosing loot boxes to the game ratings board. And you know what? I think they're finally smarting over this one. I didn't have a funny segue. I was expecting someone else to say something. Steve, you seem dumb and ill-informed at the best of times. If you had to throw a number, I'm sorry, that's actually way more hurtful than I meant.
An airplane is going over my house, so I probably got picked up on the mic, and Steph's going to hate you, and then deserved, because I was going to have my mic on mute. Now you've made me talk. I'm not really sure what segue you were going with going.
I feel really bad about this one.
You got him started, man. He's just not
so
stopped.
sorry. All right. Let me try this again. Saif, you dumb sack of shit.
That's my name. Don't wear it out. That is my full legal name. Don't wear it out.
Doctoring himself.
It was fucking one abuse. If you had to guess how much a giant company like Activision Blizzard, who, need I remind the audience, is in the midst of trying to be bought out for $70 bajillion by Microsoft. How much do you think they'd have to pay for fucking over consumer law by not disclosing loot boxes?
They're, like you said, they're a pretty big company, and this is a pretty serious case to lose. Like, this is a pretty serious
Undoubtedly.
crime.
It is.
I'm gonna say at least $750 million.
I would have said $69 quadrillion.
Okay. So, Steve.
Can I change my answer?
No.
I feel like I'm shooting for the stars a little bit. I'm going to say at least $1.
Let me. Yes, the price is right. Do you imagine if that's how they settle shit in law? Both lawyers labeled the fine, and the judge is like, no, that was over, you lose. No. So your previous guess of 750 million is close. It has a 7 in it.
Oh.
7.
Well, I guess technically it has a 5 in it, depending on the currency. Yeah.
7 Activision Blizzard.
That's like
what, not
at
King?
least 7 times 60 million.
Yeah.
Wow, that's almost as much as Saif was willing to pay for Dragon Ball Z The Breakers.
Almost, but not quite.
Right, we've spent way too long on this. Just rip the band-aid off. They don't deserve this much time.
Yeah, you're right. They got charged 5,000 euros. It's a fucking travesty. We can move on.
It's a crime they got charged this little for such a hefty crime.
0.00007%
if anything, we should take them back to court.
Maybe more people should just ignore Peggy.
So
Ignore being pegged.
So
Hey,
okay,
you said it
well,
on me.
Probably a good rule for life anyway. But so Steve only told you half the fact there. So they got fined 0.00007% of 1 year's earnings. A single year. 5,000.
And if you can't do the math of that percentage, their net revenue for that year was $7.53 billion.
Like who is playing that? They cancelled Overwatch 2. Where are they getting this money from?
Who knows?
You know what? It's all the soccer mums playing Candy Crush.
I knew it. Yeah, no, fucking frustrating. Really wish that there would be some more teeth to shitty consumer practices. Really funny that it's Diablo Immortal. Actually, I guess somewhat related. Diablo 4 is coming out soon, I think.
Yeah, if it's not already out.
I've been seeing ads for it on YouTube.
Yeah, I thought it might have already been out.
Yeah, that it's either already out or...
Maybe it was just debated that was out.
For release date.
YouTube's been trying to sucker me into playing it by showing me ads, which I really do not give a shit about. Hey, there we go.
That's the same day as Street Fighter.
No,
wait, Street Fighter is 2nd of June.
Amazing.
It gets 4 days.
I can't believe they're going to Titanfall 2 Diablo 4 like that.
Oh, right. That was the other thing I forgot to mention. For AEW, it's releasing like 3 days after Final Fantasy 16 does.
Well, Saif, as a perfect 100% overlap between wrestling fan and Final Fantasy fan, which one are you rooting for?
You already know my answer. You already know which one I spent hundreds of dollars on.
Overwatch 2?
No, Diablo 4.
Genshin Impact.
Genshin Impact. Okay. Crazy revelation. Saif is the soccer mom. Saif is playing Candy Crush right now.
I didn't even roll yet. I just bought all those Primo gems, and I'm sitting on them.
They'll go up in value, I swear.
I don't even want to roll for a character. I just wanted to give them money, and it got out of hand.
And finally, this week, we have the absolute state of PlayStation Showcase. I don't know. It's not a state of play, you're right, but like I've already committed to the bit. Here we are.
The absolute showing of this case.
Calm down, Ace Attorney. There are quite a few things that they talked about in this. Are there? I'd rather save going through all of it and just pick out the bits that people are interested in.
I want to pick out 2 of them. I want technically 3. The Metal Gear Solid remake, fantastic.
Absolutely love that.
I love the concept. That trailer was pants on a head ridiculous. I don't know why they did that.
It was showing the food chain.
Yeah, and then it's just him standing there. It's fucking strange. Like they could have done a million other things. But they did have the song playing in the background. The song's fucking. But yes, very very keen for that. And I'm also keen that the Metal Gear Solid collection, the original trilogy 1, 2, and 3, which is kind of weird because they're remaking 3, so I didn't think that would be included, but it is. And that's coming out later this year. It's
also the HD remaster versions of 2 and 3. So they are like fully content complete except for the Metal Gear Solid 3 Ape Escape stuff.
Metal Gear Solid 3 Ape Escape stuff? What?
Yeah, on the PS2 there was a Ape Escape minigame in Metal Gear Solid 3. The original release, I think, not Substance or Subsistence, whatever it's called.
And can't see it in here because I didn't know the name of it.
Sorry, back on the Metal Gear Solid thing, I just want to point out that they called it Collection Volume 1, which implies there's going to be a Collection Volume 2 at some point, and I hope that means Metal Gear Solid 4 gets to finally escape to PlayStation 3.
You can watch it on YouTube. It's a video set. There is half an hour of gameplay in that game.
And that half an hour of gameplay is insane and intense, and some of the best Metal Gear Solid gameplay you'll ever play. Allegedly.
Part 2 will probably... Yeah, allegedly.
Allegedly, in Minecraft.
Part 2 will probably be Peace Walker and number 4, and then part 3 will be like a fucking 4K upscaling of Ground Zeroes 5. Fuck 5.
I think they'd also throw in Revengeance for Volume 2.
That's great.
Revengeance, really? I wouldn't have thought that.
I mean, if you're going to do Metal Gear Solid 5, Ground Zeroes, and Peace Walker together at like a high resolution, I think that on one collection is big enough, and that so you can't fit Revengeance there, so you'd fit it with Metal Gear Solid 4 and Peace Walker.
Am I crazy for thinking that I played Peace Walker on PSP or PS Vita?
No, you're right.
Yeah.
It's a
No,
PSP
sorry, no.
game.
It is a PSP game that was later
Yeah,
ported
okay.
to.
Yeah, that is that is the game I'm thinking of then, which I really enjoyed. It was
Very good game.
You know, Metal Gear
and
Solid
there's
is a very good franchise.
And I can't find it on this list. Oh, hang on. Foam Stars or something?
Yeah, Foam Stars.
Yeah, it looks to be like streamer culture, but with like cross Splatoon.
I will say something possibly controversial here. Steven, did you also get the impression that this
never
looks AI generated graphically and character design wise?
Oh, now that you've said it, or it would, if it's not AI generated, it's very
NFT core.
NFT core, or people that don't know who think what video games should look like. But have
Yes,
never played
that is also another good way to describe it.
and it's being made by Square Enix, so you can obviously tell the NFT core now that you've said it.
Oh boy.
There's one cool thing about this, and I think is really neat, in that it's taken the Splatoon concept, but it's added height to the layer of it. So instead of just painting over other people's colors, the foam literally stacks on top of each other, and that can make like hills and valleys all across the map that way, which I think is a neat addition idea to add to this. But
There's no jump button. And it looks like it's got like weird vehicles as well.
oh yeah, I think the surfboards that they were riding on, I think is just their version of turning into a squid and going through your ink.
Yeah, 100%, but it looks cooler.
Yeah. And it looks like there's melee combat as well, like you can run up to people and punch them or hit them with the surfboard.
Look, we're giving this way too much time. It looks like a fucking terrible game.
Oh, no. There's a little bit more time I want to give this because Splatoon,
Yeah, that's right. Fuck you,
Splatoon
Saif.
is successful. Splatoon is very successful. I don't think Square Enix is going to hit any of the things that make Splatoon successful with this game. I think they will make every
100%.
mistake.
There's no way this game is like comes out one in a playable state, because it looks like a live service game, and two, it actually sells. Like it's Balan's Wonderworld, Babylon's Fall. Like, Square Enix can't make good games outside of like Monster Hunter.
That's Capcom.
That's Capcom. Square Enix can't make good games outside of the Final Fantasy series.
They also have Kingdom Hearts.
That's also Capcom.
Yeah, when was the last Kingdom Hearts game? 40 years ago. When's Kingdom Hearts 4 in 40 years? There was no Kingdom Hearts 4 in this trailer.
So Splatoon is also a live service game, but their trick around it is that they charge everyone full price, and because they're Nintendo, they never drop their price ever. So people just keep buying into that game over and over again, and they just keep making bank off it. And so they get the luxury of just releasing all their live service updates for free. I think this will be a free-to-play game, and they will do a battle pass, and that will tank this game so hard.
All games have a battle pass these days. You might as well say this video game will...
Yeah, even paid games have battle passes these days. It's disgusting.
Anyway, that's pretty much all the things that I wanted to touch on. There was a couple of things that like look cool, but conscious that like Assassin's Creed Mirage does look pretty cool. I was very excited by the Final Fantasy 16 trailer, and it's do I need to buy a PS5 for that stuff?
Yes.
Probably.
It will not be coming to Xbox. You'll either need to buy a PS5 or a PC.
Oh. Phantom Blade Zero looks like it's a weird Samurai Souls like it. I thought it was like a weird Sekiro port when I first saw it. But Sekiro's already happened. I thought that Phantom Blade Zero was Ghost of Tsushima's 2.
I saw people jump from Bloodborne to thinking it was the next Tsushima game. Like, they just saw the environment and thought Bloodborne, and then they saw the character and went to Ghost of Tsushima sequel, and then it turned out to be something completely different. It looks really cool, though. Lots of really stylish action. The people making this game are coming over from mobile game development, and they're like, yeah, so mashing on the screen and doing actions, we're like taking the lessons we learned from that and putting it onto a controller.
Oh, that shit. What else? That's pretty much all I want. Oh, no, that Sword of the Sea, made by the same people that made Journey. And Journey is such a game's a very hard way to describe that game. It's more of an experience.
It's a game that's an art form.
Yeah, games.
All right, let's compromise. It's a visual novel.
No, there is not a single line of text in that game.
Oh yeah, because it's visual.
It's a picture book.
Oh, hang on.
It's a pop-up book.
Well, because I remember going to the Museum of Contemporary Art in New York City, and they've got like a whole game Journey, as well as like Minecraft. But yeah, anyway, so this Sword of the Sea, it seems like it's you're crossing on a desert on a hoverboard. but like the desert is moving like water, and you hit something and it reverses time or something, bring back the oasis. That looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like it's a really cool mix between Journey and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Like they literally have half pipes in that trailer.
That's such a great combo.
It actually is. It looks fantastic. I'm super keen on it.
Wait, but if there's a time mechanic, isn't it also like a part braid?
You shut your whole mouth.
Oh, okay. So that's where it went too far. Huh? That's
We
where I
don't
lost
talk
it.
about. We don't talk about. Was that Jonathan Blow that made that game?
Yes, it is actually.
I think so. Yeah.
How do you know all this? You
Is
really
him,
don't know anything
is
else
him
about
or
video
Phil
games, do you?
Fish are the two dickhead game developers?
What's wrong with him?
Hey, are you kidding me? Braid's the greatest of all time. You just need to play it.
He made The Witness.
Nah, I think I won't.
All right, I'll read his Wikipedia.
So, Patrick, is there
You can
anything
read?
from the PlayStation Showcase that you're
I'll
interested in
Google
before
Jonathan
I
Blow
go
job.
through the list?
Steve, whatever you do, don't Google Jonathan Blow me.
He took a notebook to clubs in
Is
the
Google
90s.
Jonathan
What the fuck,
Blow
weirdo?
job?
I fucking said that.
You know I don't listen to you.
Yeah, you bastard. He made Flow. Oh, no.
One time it's funny, two times it's fucking annoying. There we go. Finally got the reference in there. So there's a couple of standouts for me. Also, shout out to you saying there's only a couple of things I want to bring up, and then went through like fucking 8 of them. Alan Wake 2, big fan. That seems to be getting a release date of. I actually had this open. Shit, where did it go? Oh no.
They did a close up of Alan Wake in that trailer, and I thought it was Keanu Reeves. At first I thought it was going to be a John Wick video game.
10 out of 10. October 17 is when it's coming. Not just PS5 though. A few other platforms as well.
Yeah, no, a good chunk of these games are coming to PC and Xbox as well. There's very few first party games in here.
Alan Wake 2, very excited. Teardown, I have been looking at with envy, but nervous about trying to play on my machine because it's basically a hardcore physics sim. That coming to PS5 will be interesting because that's kind of like upmarket hardware, at least for what I have access to. So
if Minecraft is the voxel version of building things and Teardown is the voxel version of blowing shit up.
I thought you were going to say tearing things down.
Yep. True.
I mean, that's the whole point of the name. That's why I had to go something different.
Anyone else remember Tearaway?
I do.
I don't.
10 out of 10 game.
I've got it on PS4. I still haven't played it.
Okay, well, never mind. Let's just retract me playing it. The other one, not so much that I would get it, but Project Q being PlayStation's closest thing to saying that they're going to do a remote gaming device, because, man, I'd really like a sequel to PlayStation Vita or PlayStation Portable, both of which I own. And Project Q is absolutely a punch in my face.
Yeah, no, it doesn't play the games natively. It's all remote play. It's the stupidest piece of hardware.
And the thing is, it's basically like taking your phone, but made slightly bigger, bolting 2 sides of a DualShock 5 to it, and charging you an obscene amount of money for it. But what I'm hoping is that they use this to test the waters and go, man, Project Q didn't sell at all. Let's make an actual mobile device and see if that sells any better, because if you have a smartphone, you already have most of what Project Q does. I don't really get what function this serves. But the fact that they are looking at it... Well,
if this fails, you'll never get another PS Vita ever. You know that.
Yeah, no, this is going to fail, and they're going to be like, well, no one wants handheld devices.
And then
let me cope.
And then the Switch will sell
The Switch,
when it comes out
yeah.
in 4 years' time, will sell like 30 quadrillion copies.
Patrick, I've been coping since the Vita died, and then they gave us this. It's over. It's never been more over. We have to let go.
That's what they said about Bloodborne 2. It's coming, I tell you. It's coming. Just trust.
People are saying this showcase was shit because there was no Bloodborne. Everyone hyped themselves up for Bloodborne, and it's never happening.
Anyway, those are the couple points that I want to... Saif, take us out with what the remainder of the little bits that you are interested in.
All right, so first up, not interested in these. I just want to bring it up.
Oh, so first up... Oh, God. Here we go.
Sony announced 3 live service games with CGI trailers throughout this conference. Yeah, no, they're doubling down on live service games for a little bit. I hope these all crash and burn on them.
Hey, Forspoken did well, all right?
One of them, called Concord, actually gave 0 information about what that game is. I cannot believe they put out that trailer.
What do you mean? It's a hype trailer. It's supposed to get you hyped. People are talking about it. No news is good news.
They showed a spaceship, they showed a hamburger in that spaceship, and they showed the spaceship moving at light speed. You get nothing out of it.
At first, I thought it was a No Man's Sky DLC trailer, and then it's like, no, Concord. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, at least with Fair Games, the game that they opened with, you kind of get the impression that this is like a PvP payday game, which on its own merits could be interesting, but when you attach it to being live service, and I lose all interest.
Yeah, it's literally, can we have payday at home?
Yeah. Next up was Ghost Runner 2. I was told this is like a speed run kind of game, like more action based, but has like that speed run element that Neon White has. So that ups my interest in this game immensely, and just the trailer that they showed was incredible anyway. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink still looks incredible. They didn't give a hard release date, but they're doubling down on winter this year. Ultros, I was interested in at first, but because I really like Metroidvania games. But it looks like this is going to be a Metroidvania roguelike, and I don't know if I'm on board with that.
That's definitely one of those games that you have to be perfectly, and then it's a game of all time. But if you fuck it up, it's like, no, I hate it. I'm playing this game. Yeah,
so cautiously looking at that game, if there's any hint of this turning into, nah, I'm going to hate it, I'm just going to drop off it completely. Dragon's Dogma 2 showed gameplay. It looks like Dragon's Dogma with budget and being able to be completed, which, perfect. That's all the game needed. That is all Dragon's Dogma 2 needed to be. The only thing that they could do to improve this is to have a trailer with into free playing. RE4 VR is making me want PlayStation VR. And ended on like a 13-minute presentation for Spider-Man 2. That game looks amazing. Gonna be one of the highlights of the year for me. They showed Peter Parker in the symbiote suit. They showed some stuff with Kraven. They showed that Lizard is going to be one of the main villains of the game. And it was just an action-packed 10 minutes that looks incredible from start to finish. There's not much else I can say besides I'm really impressed with how that looks.
I didn't realize Sword of the Sea was Giant Squid.
I don't know who that is.
That is the Journey developers.
Yep, that's...
Oh, were they Journey as well? Okay, I only know them from Abzu.
Yeah, Abzu, Journey, and...
They did say that they were from the creators of Abzu, but I've never played Abzu.
Yeah, so I
Damn it.
That's why it's backwards for me. I know that you said that they were the Journey developers, but I didn't realize Journey was Giant Squid.
And I didn't realize that Abzu was Giant Squid. Here we are.
Yeah, there we go. Which makes total sense now. But holy shit, that game looks amazing.
They also did the Pathless recently, like at the start of the PS5 generation.
I haven't played it, but I'm sure it's good. But yeah, really, really enjoy Abzu. I've played it and completed 100% on like 2 different platforms now.
Very cool.
Anyway, yeah, I think is that everything from the showcase?
Yeah, that's everything worth talking about. I think.
Whoa.
Oh no.
Beat Saber for the PSVR. Thoughts, fellas?
Nah, shit.
Oh.
It's only good on PC because the modding community.
Yeah, no, that's the modding community is what makes Beat Saber so good.
Okay. I'll put it to a different until the day where you can come to me and say, Patrick, I have before me PlayStation VR and a copy of Beat Saber where I can play a Beat Saber map that is the entirety of the Shrek 1 movie with full Beat Saber maps for each of the banging songs in that film. Don't talk to me.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
It's a high bar, all right? I know it's a high bar, but that's why I just know that unless it's on PC.
I just remembered there's one more thing I want to talk about with Spider-Man. So they start off with Peter Parker in Queens.
He's a spider.
Yes. But have I told you about spiders, man? That's a man made of millions and millions of spiders. But yeah, so it starts off with Peter Parker in Queens, and he goes through a whole combat sequence, and then he has to, he finds out where Lizard is, but he's all the way over in Harlem Docks, which I don't know New York's map, but I assume that's a pretty large distance.
Far. That's fucking, like, that's far.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
35, 40 minutes on the subway, like probably 2.5 3 hours walking, like that's literally the other side of the world.
Yeah, it'll take Peter Parker at least 5 minutes to get there, which, you know, in superhero time, that's too long to make it to the supervillain. So he gets in contact with Miles, who's already in the Harlem area, and it just transitions straight to him. Like, it's just a cut. There's no, like, smooth transition or anything. It just cuts straight to Harlem. You're in control of Miles. It's super fast, super instant, really impressive loading times. And it shows that Miles swinging through the city, and they've upped the swing speed of this game so much compared to the PS4 game. Like, it's incredible how much they've just sped up the game thanks to being on an SSD instead of a hard drive.
I know that this is technically not Showcase, but just because we are getting close to that time, thoughts on seeing Across the Spider-Verse Part 1?
I'm super keen. I'm going there as soon as I can. Like, Spider-Verse 1 is one of my favorite movies ever. And I've been super keen for the sequel for so long. I may even do what Patrick loves and go and see it multiple times.
I actually did that with Spider-Verse 1.
Oh, dang. I only saw it in theaters the one time, but I've seen it multiple times.
I saw it in Wellington because I was on break from uni. Saw it, loved it so much, went back down to Dunedin and went to my flat and it was like, hey, you guys need to, and this isn't a question, watch Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse was so good that when I did a group watch with some friends, it convinced one of my friends to get a PS4 and a Spider-Man game. And you know what? That Spider-Man game, also fantastic. I can't believe we're having repeat years of Spider-Verse and Spider-Man coming out on a PlayStation console back,
yeah, what is this?
Twice.
Like 20 fucking, what, 16? No, when was...
2018.
18. That makes more sense.
Absolutely incredible that both 2018 and 2023 get both of those absolutely amazing products.
True. Right. Any final... Are we finally there with the old absolute state of Showcase?
The showcase is closed now. We're done.
We're done. Pack her
We've
up.
finished showing the
We're going
cases.
home.
Yeah, like the last thing I'll say on it is like I thought it was fine. Like a lot of people got themselves too overhyped on the potential of this that it ended up disappointing a lot of people when like Final Fantasy VII didn't show up or Bloodborne 2 didn't show up or whatever things they made up in their head didn't show up, like The Last of Us factions or Ghost of Tsushima 2. And it would have been it would have been nice to see more of the single player stuff that Sony has planned in the future. But at the same time, we got a little bit of what their plans are for at least to the beginning of next year.
What's the name of that Bloodborne karting game?
Yeah, it's just Bloodborne Kart.
Oh, it was Bloodborne Kart. Yeah, I was really disappointed when that didn't show up. 0 out of 10.
Yeah, no, Sony really needs to endorse that officially.
Anyway, what was I going to say? I get the feeling people are only disappointed with this. Well, people in one of the... How can you be disappointed with it because you've literally invented what you want to see in your head, and when they don't show it, probably because it doesn't exist, you're disappointed. Like you're being mad. Like I'm going to go into work tomorrow, and I want my boss to send me home and give me $12 billion, but I'm not going to be disappointed if she doesn't do it.
Yeah, like Metal Gear Solid 3 remake trailer wasn't great, but at least knowing it exists is a big deal. The Spider-Man stuff was a big deal. And there's a lot of smaller things in there to be excited about. It doesn't feel like this presentation was a waste of time, but I'm seeing a lot of people like making stupid comments like this could have just been an email that they sent out to the press.
Could have been an fuck off.
Yeah, no, there was a lot of good stuff in here. Like I couldn't be disappointed with it.
Sweet. And speaking of being disappointed, we have an audience question this week. I'm sorry, that was a terrible segue. Fuck. Okay, which one of you is most Polone?
That sounds like a Tom bit.
Could be Pat bit, I reckon. And he's trying to gaslight us to think it was him.
What, a fucking self-report? You think I'd self-report calling myself most Polone? I don't really have a response to that. I just...
Anyway, so most Polone writes in. All right, do you want me to...
Are you going to finish?
I thought you were going to... Because you started. Okay, so most Polone writes in. Hey everyone, long-time gamer, first-time listener. With games like Genshin Impact copying Breath of the Wild.
That's shitty. Hang on, why are we giving this guy time of day for only being the first-time listener? No. Listen to like another 2 episodes, then we'll talk.
All right. Sorry, most Polone, I'll see you in 2 episodes. I was outvoted. If you don't like that, write in. Preferably another question. Maybe we'll get to multiple questions.
That's good. No, might as well hear out most Polone if that's his real name, which I doubt. First time listener, boo. With games like Genshin, copying Breath of the Wild, are there games?
Hold on. I just need to correct him there. Everyone knows that Breath of the Wild copied Genshin Impact.
No one knows that. No one knows that.
It's widely known that Genshin Impact was a huge success that Zelda had to copy.
Yeah, Genshin Impact came out 2 years before Breath of the Wild.
Most Pallone, go back and do your homework.
Yeah, I don't think we should answer this guy's question at all. He's not. He says he's a long-time gamer, but he doesn't even have a true gaming fact. He's not a gamer, actually. He's a dog in a wig.
He's two kids in a trench coat. Are there games that have taken inspiration from something that have done it better? That's an interesting point. And then a bonus question. Are open world collectibles a waste of time or a genius way of forcing you to explore a game world? I'll hit the bonus question first. It depends, which sounds like a cop-out. Some games, but like some games do open world collectibles really well because they do force you to explore the world, and it's usually with the purpose of seeing something interesting that you otherwise wouldn't have as much reason to go there and do or see. And
on the other end of the spectrum, you have Assassin's Creed 2's Feathers.
Yeah, had to bring that one up, didn't you, Seth? Yeah, and on the other end, yeah, they are collectibles for the sake. If getting the collectibles feels like a chore, it's not a good collectible. But if it is something that you kind of accidentally collect while playing the game, then it's generally pretty good. And so then the achievement becomes finishing off the last few rather than going out of your way to get each one. And I think the approach to those are very different, even though they have the same purpose. For the main question, something that borrows inspiration but does it better. I'm sure there are games like that.
I have an answer for that one.
Yeah, okay, you go first.
Yeah, so I won't bother with the second half because you basically answered it perfectly. But for this question, Tekken, but it's copied Virtua Fighter, and it's just done the 3D fighter gameplay way better. Like Tekken 3 perfected it.
I'll do one better then. Pokken.
Ooh.
It took the Tekken formula and did it even better.
But it also has a Smash formula in there.
Really?
Shit, you're right. No, take it back. I take it back. Yeah, I don't...
Sonic took inspiration from Mario and just hit that out of the park.
So the dumb thing is, it's really hard to say definitively that some game took inspiration from another game. Like, I am certain something like Last of Us took a lot of inspiration from a bunch of other games. But Last of Us
took a lot of inspiration from like RE4 gameplay-wise.
Uncharted.
Sure, but... And Uncharted, but that's also because it's the same dev. So, like, how much can you really feed into that? It's all that sort of thing. So... I would consider... I
feel like basically every 3D collectathon is taking inspiration from Mario 64. So like Banjo-Kazooie, Jak and Daxter and all of those, they look at what Mario 64 did and then try to build on top of that.
I wouldn't say they build on top of it. I'd say they put their own unique spin on it.
But did they do it better?
That's like a personal preference thing. Do you think that like Banjo-Kazooie did a collectathon better than Mario 64? That's up to you.
I'd need to play Banjo-Kazooie, but
I haven't played
so
Banjo-Kazooie
far, feeling
either.
says no.
I got up to like the third level and then I stopped playing it.
Really think you know gamers.
But something like Burnout, I would say, took inspiration from like quite a few different sort of racing games, but it formed it into a blend that was unique enough that is the standout game for me. It would be interesting to know which kind of PlayStation era platformers was first. I assume Crash was probably up there first, but I think of Ratchet and Clank and Sly being better platform, or at least platformers that I enjoyed more than Crash. They took inspiration. Who knows? Or there was one other that I thought was a good one. This one is entirely personal preference. I, in the era of GTA 4, preferred Saints Row.
Interesting.
Or, sorry, maybe not GTA 4, but like. I haven't played GTA 5, and I think GTA 5 is probably a better game, by all accounts, than the Saints Row games are. Haven't played it to know. But Saints Row was designed as a piss take of GTA. Yeah. So in that sense, I could say that it did borrow from GTA, and it was much more up my alley as a game. So that is one that I would say borrowed and did it better for those games, because the original GTAs were very... I don't even know what the right word is. Like, GTA 5 was a much lighter game than GTA, at least 4, because that's the main one that I think of playing.
Yeah, I could definitely say that. Same thing like with the Just Cause games as well. I think it's Just Cause.
That's a good one. Yeah,
3. There are certain parts of that, and I love it. Just Cause 2, I definitely preferred that in some aspects.
2 I think was the groundbreaking one. 3 was 3 built on a winning formula. 2 was the winning formula.
Like ages ago. Yeah, there were definitely parts of that, but it's a different type of experience, different, unique type of spin on it. And I guess probably this also comes, like, this question's probably inspired by the Payday clone that PlayStation announced, the Splatoon clone, is what they can put on it. Can they make, like, for example, with Splatoon, Splatoon's really successful game, people that love it, love playing. Is there a way to copy that formula and put your own spin on it in a way that A, improves the game, and B, makes it substantially different, that people decide, okay, I'm going to play this new game instead of old game?
The answer is make it free to play and put a battle pass in.
No,
that'll get everyone on
now
board.
we're talking.
Those are marketing scams. And I don't know, that is a tough one. And you do see, and maybe because I played Wolong Fallout Dynasty, which is a hybrid, like it sort of is trying to copy the Dark Souls formula of die, and learn the mechanics and get better, but it does it in an easier way in a new setting with like a bunch of loot drops that it is inherited from Neo. And it sort of isn't as good as Dark Souls, and it isn't as good as Neo because it tries to do both. It's very tough. Can't really think of a game that does has like copied a winning formula and then made it better. There are, at the same time though, there are a bunch of like Pokemon ROM hacks that literally are the Pokemon game and the formula. They just make a lot of quality of life improvement.
Yeah, that feels like a different thing though. That's not a new thing being inspired.
Yeah.
Because it's just building off what's already there and making what you're playing a better experience.
Okay, well that's about to undercut one of my other answers, which was going to be Monster Hunter built on the winning formula of Monster Hunter and made it even better with Monster Hunter.
You know, it's incredible to actually see that everyone keeps trying to do a Monster Hunter clone and none of them do it like Monster Hunter does.
Yeah, that's true.
Why do you reckon that is? Is it just Monster Hunter's been that long around? It's like, if I wanted to play Monster Hunter at home, I've literally got Monster Hunter at home, I'll just play that. Like, there was that Atomic
Hearts. Yeah, I think a lot of it is just No, Atomic Hearts was that Fallout, the BioShock inspired game. Wild Hearts.
Wild Hearts.
Yeah, that's the one.
I think what it is that Monster Hunter is just so plain and simple with a lot of depth, and every Monster Hunter clone is trying to add something as a twist when that extra twist just doesn't need to be there. So Monster Hunter is just as a formula perfected as it is, and adding any more to it kind of detracts from it.
Yeah.
It occupies a sweet spot, because I actually played Dauntless for a bit back when it was before Monster Hunter World came to PC, and Dauntless was built to be a Monster Hunter clone, but PC first, and now I think it's available even with cross-play across a bunch of different platforms.
It wouldn't surprise me since that's an Epic game.
Yeah. But what was interesting was I could never get into it in the same way, but all of the reasons that I couldn't get into it were reasons that it felt like it was trying to be different from Monster Hunter, but not really knowing, like, it, to me, because this was early access as well, because Dauntless didn't have a 1.0 release until around when Monster Hunter came to PC, and then by the time that happened, I switched to World, and then, rest is history. So this is, albeit a fairly rough memory of what Dauntless was like pre-release, but it didn't have the same soul, where everything felt more kind of arena fighty because they were all sort of floating islands, than it did I personally really like the ecological aspect of Monster Hunter, and that's why Monster Hunter World really nailed that balance. So many other games I'm assuming a lot of other games see that Monster Hunter is going after the sort of ecological aspect of what it is to exist in this world, and so they want to do something different, but that to me removes part of the soul of what the game is. And there were a few other gripes that I had with sort of lack of polish on the combat and other bits and pieces, but that's all just kind of because it was pre-release. It's probably a lot better now, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it is interesting that if there's a formula, like same thing with Burnout. Burnout had a winning formula, and I know a lot of games that have tried to do something similar since, like Split Second Velocity as a good example, or Need for Speed.
Wreckfest.
Yeah, Wreckfest. Yeah, that's another one. And Need for Speed Unbound. No, that's the recent one.
Heat?
No. Much older. Sorry, Ridge Racer. Ridge Racer Unbound. Yeah, that's the one. had a Burnout sort of vibey to it as well. Neither of them were as good for a few different reasons. So it's weird. I also think that there's it's kind of like the Professor Oak, there's a time and place for everything. Like, I'm a massive fan of Gen 3. Like, we always talk about Pokemon, right? But I'm a massive fan of Gen 3 because when I played Gen 3, the stars aligned that was a particularly good experience for me. It might be that if I had played Gen 2 at the right time or Gen 4 at the right time and not played Gen 3, it would be a different opinion. It's not, in some ways, it's not just about the game. It's also what was going on that made what the game is to you as the player. Something that Saif and I touched on quite a bit during our nostalgia trip of an episode a couple episodes ago. That's all I have to say on this. It's a weirdly deep topic, but it's a very interesting one.
I have one more for this topic, and it's Mario Kart, actually. Like, Mario Kart on its own is a fantastic kart racing game, but I feel like multiple games have done it better. But it's also, Mario Kart is also at a point where it's at such a high quality that it's just everything else is just hitting a home run. So the examples being Diddy Kong Racing is just better than Mario Kart 64 and is inspired by that. Crash Team Racing also inspired by Mario Kart 64 and Diddy Kong Racing, and it's better than Mario Kart in my opinion.
Oh,
and Sonic and All Stars Racing Transformed, inspired by the Mario Kart games, also better than those. But
I think he is.
It's like Mario
Literally
Kart is
sold
like
150 million copies.
Mario Kart is like a 9 out of 10, and it takes like these games having to be a 10 out of 10 to be better than that.
Yeah, I guess so. They've just got different spins on it, I guess.
It does, but Mario Kart is like that really good vanilla, and these are like chocolate flavor. That little spin just helps it that much.
Yeah, okay.
I had one lined up as a piss take, but I don't remember what I was going to say. Shit. Where it was like a really obvious, it borrowed from the original source and just fucked it up.
League of Legends and Dota?
Not what I was going to say, but also a good one. I do appreciate that one.
League of Legends and Battleborn?
League of Legends and like anything. Yeah, shit.
League of Legends and Smite.
And Han and every other MOBA. Why don't we just run through them all?
Oh, Team Fortress 2 and Overwatch 2.
That's just sad.
I knew it would be.
No, there was one I was like, oh man, this would set them both off, but I can't fucking remember. It doesn't matter. It's gone now. Yeah. Any final thoughts on this from either of you two?
No, that Mario Kart one was the last one for me.
No, that's a good one. It's a good one. Right. Well, that brings us to the end of the audience question and the end of episode 74. If you have a question that you want us to answer, feel free to write in. We're on Twitter at FastTravelLounge minus one of the L's, Facebook at FastTravelLounge, and good old mailbag, FastTravelLounge at gmail.com. I don't know if it's worth hyping up too much about what we're going to be up to for next week. You two will probably still be playing Tears of the Kingdom. I still probably won't be.
yeah, that seems like the most likely outcome.
It does. It really does. But until then, if you have enjoyed what you've listened to, feel free to give us a rating, a comment, a subscription on your podcasting platform of choice. Really helps us out. But as I said, we're at the end of episode 74. I've been Patrick. I've been joined by Saif and Steve. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you next time. Goodbye.
New Tears of the Kingdom update. I actually just saw someone make a snowmobile to push enemies into the sea. It's fantastic.
Eat your veggies.